Matata. All right, 2 minutes, everybody. And good evening to all of those who are joining us.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Good evening.
I see some new faces. Well, no, it's not new, but I haven't seen y'all in a while. Hello. Miss Hill, Miss Jonay, Zach. Who else up here? I heard Monet, but I didn't see her.
I'm here.
Hello there.
Good evening, Councilman Fields and everyone else.
Miss Sydney. I see you there, but I don't hear you.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
I need some more light in here.
Russian light. Okay.
Mayor, 7 o'clock.
Okay. All right. The Dumfries Town Council meeting of Tuesday, June 1st, 2021 is now hereby called to order. Can you take the roll, please?
Councilman Brown. Councilman Fields.
He's on mute, but I think he's on.
Here.
Councilwoman Miles.
I just talked to Miss Miles. She was dropping her son off, so she may not have made it back home yet.
Okay, thank you, sir. Councilwoman Neville.
Present.
Councilman Pete.
Here.
Vice Mayor Nickerson.
Here.
Mayor Wood.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Let's take have a moment of prayer, a quiet prayer, and then we'll follow that with the Pledge of Allegiance. Amen. Please follow me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Hill, can you please note that Councilwoman Miles is here?
Yes, sir. It's been noted.
Thank you. All right. Next on our agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Does any council members have anything to add or subtract from the agenda? Okay, seeing none, Town Manager.
No, sir.
Okay. With that, I welcome a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
So moved. Second.
Okay, it's moved by Vice Mayor Nickerson, second by Councilwoman Neville. Seeing no discussion, I call for the question. Councilwoman Miles?
Aye.
Councilman Pete?
Yes.
Councilwoman Neville?
Aye.
Councilman Fields?
Aye.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
And that's a yes for me. I believe that's 6-0. The motion carries 6-0. Next on the agenda is awards and proclamation. There is a proclamation to commemorate Juneteenth. Councilwoman Neville?
Thank you, Mayor. And as we already know, the town of Dumfries was one of the first municipalities to make Juneteenth a paid holiday for our staff a few years ago. So I will go ahead and read the proclamation on the agenda tonight. The Emancipation Proclamation, effective January 1st, 1863, established that all enslaved people in Confederate states in rebellion against the Union shall be thenceforward, and forever free. And whereas this order was largely ignored by Southern slave owners, and whereas on June 19th, 1865, Major General Gordon Granger informed a reluctant community in Galveston, Texas, that the Emancipation Proclamation had enslaved Americans in rebel states over 2.5 years earlier. And whereas on this date, Major General Gordon Granger's General Order Number 3 was read to the people, announcing in pertinent part that the people of Texas are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the executive of the United States, all slaves are free. And whereas this announcement resulted in widespread celebration amongst freedmen and celebration, and whereas the descendants of African slaves continue the tradition of celebration each year, on June 19th, recognized as Juneteenth, a celebration of liberation from chattel slavery. And whereas the town of Dumfries recognizes the significance and importance of Juneteenth, and whereas the town council of the town of Dumfries declared Juneteenth as an official holiday in the town in 2020, therefore be it further resolved, the town of Dumfries will commemorate Juneteenth on June 19th, 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman, for that beautiful rendition. Next on the agenda is the approval of the May 18th Dumfries Town Council minutes. Okay, Council, was there any changes to the minutes or any concerns? If there is none, I welcome a motion to approve the May 18th, 2021 minutes as presented.
So moved.
Okay, moved by the Vice Mayor,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Neville. Seeing no discussion on that spirited item of the minutes, I'll call for the question. All right, Councilman Fields.
Yes.
Councilman Pete.
Yes.
Councilwoman Neville.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miles. Can't think she's
Aye, sorry.
okay. Vice Mayor.
Yes.
And that is a yes for me. That motion carries 6-0. Oh, very well. Next on our agenda is the thing we was live on YouTube. Next on our agenda is our citizen comment period. All right, there's any citizens wishing to make comments on things appearing on the agenda, please raise your hand. We'll allot you 2 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record, for the clerk, and we will get you. All right. We are looking now for if anyone wants to make comments. All right. Ms. Lofton, the floor is yours. And Ms. Hill, can you keep a minute? Thank you.
I seem to always be first. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ebony Lofton. I live on Milroy Drive in Dumfries. And I hope everybody had a good holiday weekend. I wanted to remind everybody of the Juneteenth inaugural parade on June 19th at 7 o'clock. I'm proud to be on the committee. I hope everyone will come out, especially considering the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre. I hope everyone will also consider buying Black, particularly on that day of freedom. I know that the agenda item today is on the town council salaries. I've seen a couple news articles about it. And personally, I think that you all do a heck of a job, that you have a lot to deal with as council members. And by all means, if you are bringing yourselves up to what perhaps is the regular level, I think it is important. One thing I did note, and I guess maybe this will be in the hearing portion, is that the numbers seem to be a little different. It indicates 65,000 is an effect to the budget. However, calculating the differences, it comes up to a little under 45. So I'm curious to know about that. Particularly when I go to the Muni Code to see the town ordinances, it says that it's current as of January 8th. However, it doesn't mention anything specifically about the town salaries. So I'm just curious to know, how did we get here with raising the salaries to begin with? And then lastly, of course, for me, seeing the town budget, which obviously has been approved, I am very curious to know the effect overall that this change will have on the budget. How does this increase? Either is there a decrease in something in expenses, or an increase in revenues? But that's pretty much all I have. Thank you so much for your service, and God bless.
Is there anyone else here at this time? Speak now. All right. I'm going to move on to council comments. All right, Councilman Fields, you have any comments today for the good of the council?
Yes, I do. Good evening again, everyone, and those that are watching via Zoom. It is June 1st. And as of yesterday, the official/unofficial start of summer. With that being said, as the heat increases, and it probably will rapidly here soon, look out for your elders, pets, and your kids as they're out playing. The streets are going to get busier with the reduction in COVID restrictions. So please be aware of your safety and surroundings out in the community. It is also very special today that it is June 1st. And as some of us and most of us have acknowledged, on June 1st was the 100th anniversary of the massacre that happened out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, specifically Greenwood District. We need to pay homage to that, watch our shows, watch our documentaries upon that. And it is very sad that now at 100 years, and they're just coming upon some of the stories that were untold or that were kept hush-hush over the years. It reminds me, in my military time before I retired, I was given a class on anti-terrorism. And one of the questions that I asked, what is the biggest domestic terrorist incident in the United States? There's a difference between domestic and foreign. Of course, we know foreign was 9/11. But the answer I was looking for was, of course, Timothy McVeigh. But the answer a young man gave me that made us really think was the massacre that happened in Tulsa. That most likely was our biggest domestic terrorist incident in the United States of America. But how we forgot this and how we don't look at this as being a terrorist incident. It brings you fast forward to something that just happened. We will celebrate not celebrate, but the anniversary of 6 months since January 6th. Is it not similar? Yes, it is. So we need to pay attention and look at our history and how it has now come to light, and learn, educate yourself on this history. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Fields. All right, Councilwoman Miles, do you have any comments tonight?
Yes, good evening, everyone. I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. I would like to echo everything that Councilman Fields just stated in regards to, as we commemorate 100 years since the Tulsa massacre, we definitely want to make sure that we keep our history in mind. And we want to make sure that we pass that information on to future generations to ensure that our history is never forgotten, and that is so through our lens. In addition to that, I would like to wish everyone a happy Juneteenth, happy Black Music Month, and happy Pride to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Pete, any comments tonight?
Yes, I just want to piggyback on what the previous council members were saying of happy anniversary of Juneteenth, as we celebrate in some of the remembrance of memories of the things that got us to this point. Also would like to thank the PAC program for bringing in the Mike Weinstein, and which is the senior NFL combine official, to help some of our athletes in this area be able to understand the some of the passages of how to make that bridge to some of the college sports, along with bringing the NFL player and the Deshaun Hand. So we want to say a special thanks to those guys for being able to share that with our community. Also, guys, as it was said also already, it's getting hot out here. Please do check on the neighbors and our seniors. We're about to start closing out on our some of our graduations for our seniors. Congratulations to some of the seniors that will be graduating this year as they go on to their future. And, as we support them on their way. Also, as our children are getting out into the summer activities in the communities, for our drivers to be aware of them as they're crossing out and about in the communities, as well as continue to keep our parks clean and safe, as well as the rest of the community. And once again, thank you guys for being part of the Dumfries community and supporting the rest. And that's all I have.
Councilwoman DeVille.
Thank you, Mayor. I echo the sentiment stated before me. Councilman Fields, that was beautifully stated. Everything you said, I'd like to just echo everything. It leaves me less to say. So I did on behalf of the Juneteenth Committee, and thank you, Ms. Lofton, for making your remarks, to invite all the council, all the citizens to be a part of the inaugural Juneteenth Parade, which will take place at 7 p.m. So hopefully the sun will be going down and we will honor and reflect, and we will commemorate our ancestors. We'll end at the Dumfries Slave Cemetery. Please email me offline if you have any questions about that. Love to see you all there. This is your formal invitation. And to pick back up on Tulsa, when I think about Tulsa, I think about, we have to reflect and we have to rise, and we can build more Black Wall Streets. And the town of Dumfries, I'm proud to share, has a lot of resources for those who want to get their businesses started up. I always share information as well on my social media about the SBA, SBDC score. During this pandemic, I've probably taken enough Zoom classes that would help me finish my credits for a doctoral degree for free. So the training is out there. The town has a lot of resources. Get that business started. There's no time like the present. I would like to congratulate all of the graduates, all the college level graduates, all the collegiate graduates, and those just advancing to another level, whether it be elementary to middle school to high school, our high school graduations. It is your season coming up. So congratulations. It has been a tough year. You all have done something no one else can speak to. You've made it through. You persevered through a pandemic. And for that, you should be very proud, as I'm proud of you. And love is love. Happy Pride. Y'all means all. So that concludes my comments for tonight. Thank you, Mayor.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you. I wanted to also congratulate all the seniors, those graduating this year. As Councilwoman Neville stated, it has been a very tough year for all of us, and especially for our students. So congratulations to those of you who persevered through that adversity and continue to stay strong and stay focused and get things done. I also wanted to take a quick moment to wish farewell and good luck and congratulations to our Director of Planning and Community Development, Mr. Will Capers. He will be moving on from the town of Dumfries. We do wish you the very best, sir. Thank you for your time here in Dumfries. And for everyone else, just be on the lookout for a new staff position to post. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm gonna start my comments in reverse because I think everybody hit the top of my comments. I'm gonna start with June is the beginning of summer. So it's getting hot. It's definitely hot. Days are getting longer. People are going to be out. The kids are going to be out in these communities. We ask when you go through these residential neighborhoods, please slow down. There are kids at play, especially when you're in our high density neighborhoods. We see you going through, so we're giving you advance warning to please slow down as you go through those communities. We do hear about when you guys are speeding through there, the high complaints. Nobody acknowledged June as Father's Day, but everybody always acknowledges May as Mother's Day. So I have to stop and pause and acknowledge all the fathers out there. Give them a happy early Father's Day in this month of June, and just acknowledge a father that's providing that seed that incubates the womb. No, I don't know if I want to say that, but it's a little graphic. But anyway, I just want to say happy Father's Day. Also, taking my hat off to everyone who is advancing to a grade. Special shout out to all the graduates. We know that our very own Councilwoman DeVille's son, Amir, shout out to him graduating from Virginia State down there. We watched him come up through all the grades, and my wife even had the opportunity to teach him in middle school. So it's good to see him come from all the way there to now being a college graduate, and all of those that are moving on. Special a birthday shout out this weekend goes out to my baby, who's going to be 16, Miss Dynasty Wood. I definitely have to shout her out as she celebrates her sweet 16 gala ball, whatever it is they have planned. I just know I just have to show up, so I just have to shout them out for that. Also, definitely when I think about Juneteenth and what we're commemorating there, really releasing people back out into their purpose. Because when I look at the history of what happened in 1619, I don't see it as bringing slaves to this country, but enslaved doctors and lawyers and architects and mathematicians and scientists. And it's really being able to put them back in a position of purpose where they can be productive on their own, not creating what this wealth is that this country was built on, which was on free labor, essentially is what we see. And I think that's what proper compensation is all about, giving people what they're valued and what they're worth. And so Juneteenth, as we reflect on that emancipation and that freedom, know that we're all free to exercise our gifts, and our gifts is what really give us value, because that's what people are attracted to, our gifts and our talents, which segue into Black Wall Street and that massacre. The one time that planes and our own community was bombed in this nation. And so take time to learn that history about Greenwood, about Tulsa. If you haven't heard, it's been probably on every station. There's been documentaries for the last couple of months about it. We've had Michael Bloomberg, who had campaigned on a Greenwood initiative that was in his. And so just understanding the power of really how you recycle money in the community and how you build true economic development and true economic power. I want to thank you all again for being a part of this process. Thank all our citizens for their continued engagement. I want to invite you all on June the 17th. We will give our state of the town address to just talk about some of the things we've accomplished during what I like to now call a pause year. I don't want to call it a global pandemic, but it was a time to really pause and reflect and to really be able to refocus and refocus on our site. And so we'll talk about where we've been, and talk about where we're going, and talk about all the things that make Dumfries a great place to be a destination for you to live, or you to do business, or you to relocate your business to. So June 17th at 7 p.m. And that concludes my comments for tonight. Next on the agenda, we'll move into our reports and presentations. Our first report and presentation will be presented by our town manager and our director of public works. I'll turn the floor over to you. And don't forget to unmute your microphone so we can all hear you here.
Yes, sir. Bear with me 1 second.
All right. As we get into it, as he prepares for that, no, the capital projects and what you're going to see is something we've been planning long range for quite a while. And so we've asked for this update so that not only the council, but the public is aware of where we're at with all of these projects as they bring that on up. Beautiful thing about technology is Murphy is always with it. For those of you who haven't met Murphy.
All right, I think we're good now.
All right.
Can everybody see my screen? All right. So as we get into it, I first wanted to give everybody an update. All of the projects that we're discussing tonight are included in our capital improvement plan. So I always just like to review what is in a capital improvement plan, or what is a capital improvement plan. So our capital improvement plan, or also called a CIP, is a planning tool for our public facilities, our infrastructure improvements, major maintenance, as well as acquisition of land. So when developing a CIP, localities should consider qualifying needs, affordability, and debt capacity, as well as our comprehensive plan goals. So each of these projects has been considered with all of these things in mind. So getting right to it, the first project is our fleet management or vehicle acquisition project. This project was designed to provide an ongoing or a continual project to allow us to develop a fleet replacement schedule. However, due to the pandemic, in this fiscal year, we did not acquire any new vehicles. However, we did pay off the existing lease on police vehicles, which continues to reduce our overall debt capacity and positions us to be flexible in putting together a plan to have an actual fleet replacement schedule for the future. Our neighborhood streetlight program. So this program was developed and intended to establish a program to provide streetlights to town neighborhoods that needed it the most. Through our conversations with the community and through our research, by far the #1 neighborhood where we received complaints about safety, as well as simple requests for streetlights, was the Knolls of Dumfries. So we have worked with Prince William County as well as Dominion to identify locations to place streetlights within this neighborhood. There will be 2 located at the entrance on Route 1 and 10 within the subdivision that will go in and illuminate this neighborhood. Just want to note that we did have a community meeting where we received additional feedback. So a few points of clarity from that meeting. Once we have a final timeline from Dominion Resources, we will send a letter to all neighborhood residents to inform them of the project, as well as to provide them a timeline. In the meantime, the complete presentation that Ms. Prevost White gave to the neighborhood, as well as the location map, is provided on our website. I know that it may be small on the screen, but this is a location map of all of the locations that will have streetlights installed in the near future within this neighborhood. Moving on to the next project, property acquisition. As we all know, this has been a unique 14 months, so there was no action or activity on this project. This project was intended for us to identify and strategically acquire parcels related and in the area of Main Street to assist with our implementation of our comprehensive plan goals. So while we have made progress in a number of other areas related to the comprehensive plan, we have not acquired any property in this fiscal year. The Town Civic Learning Center. This project is a direct extension of our comprehensive planning efforts. So with the adopted comprehensive plan, our consultant AECOM continues to assist us. And the purpose of this project is to identify a parcel or property that we can explore providing what we're calling a civic learning center as an amenity to the Main Street area. Now, this part of the feasibility study that we are conducting regarding this project will simply identify the location around Main Street for this center, and the proposed uses are related to providing access to high-speed internet, some recreation activity, and things of that nature. However, the initial feasibility study will speak directly to locations along Main Street where we can go in to ensure that those uses are implemented as part of our comprehensive plan goals. Our next project is the Williamstown Complete Streets Project. So this project is intended to be a community enhancement that will make certain improvements on Williamstown Drive, such as widening sidewalks, increasing the median width, and other traffic calming measures. We have identified a consultant that plans to get initial feedback from the Williamstown community at their next HOA meeting this week. This project, like I mentioned, is intended to be an amenity for the community. So we want to hear directly from the community about what types of improvements they would like to see along that street. Once that feedback is received, the consultant and staff will put a plan together, and we will bring that plan to the council, most likely in an upcoming CIP proposal. Now on to our dry pond maintenance project. This project is directly related to our stormwater infrastructure, and it is a necessary project in maintaining our MS4 program permit. The dry ponds that we have within the town are both actually located within the knolls of Dumfries, and the purpose of this project is to complete the design engineering for the repair and upgrades to these ponds. Due to the feedback that we received from the community, we have also added an additional scope to this project to allocate a lighting means to this project around the pond area, which can complement the already established lighting project within that neighborhood. On to the police station upgrades. The purpose of this project was to upgrade the electrical facilities within this building, as well as provide a gym or exercise area for our officers. These improvements were improvements that were intended to be completed at the initial renovation of the police department facility. However, they were not completed. And so this project will allow us to finish off that renovation and allow for sound, electronic upgrades to that infrastructure, as well as provide a exercise space for our officers. And this here is just a visualization concept of what the training area in the basement can look like. The next project in the presentation is actually a new project for fiscal year 22. Due to the work and efforts of staff, we were able to identify a means to provide a long requested improvement for Ginn Park. As we all know, we currently have a temporary portable restroom within Ginn Park, and we now have the opportunity to provide a full service freestanding restroom, ADA compliant, within the park. The potential upgrade to the restroom facility would also be eco-friendly and not require a water main tap, which would allow us to reduce the overall cost. This is a concept visualization, not exact, but this is a visualization of what this facility would look like. It would make use of rainwater eliminating the need for a water tap. And as I said, it would allow us the ability to move forward with such a project with minimal costs. We are still in the conceptual phase on this project. However, we will likely come back to the council in August to get council approval to move forward with this option. And finally, our game-changing Route 1 widening project. As we all are aware, the town recently entered into agreement with Prince William County to take over the management of this project. We are currently in the process of transferring this project from the Virginia Department of Transportation onto Prince William County for the direct management of this project. Things are going as planned, and we are still planning to have our first public update on this project in October. So that concludes the presentation. Myself and Ms. Prevost White, our Director of Public Works, are available to answer any questions that council may have.
All right. First, Mr. Rogers, can you just explain the funding sources? I know all but Route 1 is coming mostly from Northern Virginia Transportation, but explain pay-as-you-go for, especially for my public watching, so they understand the difference from our general fund, our pay-as-you-go, our grant funding, so they understand how these projects in our CIP is being funded and operated. Because I know that was a big question that came in on the last project. So if you can explain that to them.
Absolutely, Mayor. Thank you. That is a great point. All of the projects, with the exception of our stormwater project, are funded with one-time cash. And specifically, this cash was derived from the restructuring of our town-owned cellular tower deal. So this is one-time money that we've made use in one-time expenditures to provide some long needed capital improvements. So with that one-time money being cash, there's no long-standing obligation or tax burden to the taxpayer.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Fields. The floor is yours.
Yes, Mr. Rogers, great presentation. My question is for the police department is renovation and everything. When we opened the current facility now and moved out of the one that was in the town hall, the sign, I know we had an issue with signage, but the big sign for the police department that was on the old building was in the basement of the current town hall. It's not there any longer. Can that be found and maybe placed on the rear of our police department? So therefore, you know, when people go to the park and we have events out in the park and the parking lot and things like that, that piece could still be identified and that sign is just not going away somewhere.
Sure, we can take a look at the sign. I know exactly what you're talking about, and we can look into making that happen. Yes, sir.
Okay. Because years ago, that used to be the main entrance. Believe it or not, the rear of the building used to be the main entrance to the police department, and the basement was the office and everything and like that. So I think it would be great not to have that sign to go to, you know, have that sign to be useful and not go to waste. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, Council, any other questions about the capital improvement plan update and presentations? Councilwoman DeVille?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Rogers, for that presentation. Of course, I'm excited about the Civic Learning Center and look forward to learning more about that. And mine are just mainly comments. I'm excited about using alternative sources such as the rainwater to provide water to the restrooms at Ginn Park. That's quite innovative, and I look forward to learning more about that as well. So thank you.
Which brings up another question about the park, the major park renovation over at Ginn Memorial Park. You know, one of the secondary issues out of that, I know we're doing this without a water tap, but still looking for, I guess, maybe some type of water fountain or some type of facilities as adults and kids are all out there playing, they can really tap into some water, especially as we get into the dog days of summer. It can get a real hot out there.
Yes, sir. And so in fiscal year 21, we did not have a major park project. So just through the excellent work of staff, the opportunity for the restroom and a real innovative solution came into the fold. However, for fiscal year 22, we do have funding to establish that ongoing project where we will plan and design for additional amenities for all our parks. So that would be well within the project scope for fiscal year 22 and going forward.
No, I think that's good because, like you said, Merchant Park and both Garrison Park have running water in both of those parks. It's innovative. That going to be the only one without the running water, but with a nice little facility. But I was just hoping or figuring out a way, because I know that was a very pleasing. The kids play ball and stuff over there. So yeah, we can definitely look at that and come back. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Council, any other questions on the capital improvement plan and project? Councilman Pete, you have a question?
Not a question, just more so of a concern of the Gibb Memorial. I'm not for sure if we're going to entertain it or if we are. In the past, in that back of Gibb Memorial, there were talks of bringing a trail walk there with some exercise stations around there. Or are we entertaining that? Or that was I don't know if you remember that or not, Mayor. We were talking of that, bringing those exercise stations, just giving the citizens another area to where they can exercise without having to deal with the traffic, just looking to minimize some of those safety measures also. I'm not for sure where we're at, if entertaining that, but if we could look into that, that would be great for us also.
Yes, that is, as I was mentioning, for fiscal year 22, we now have the park renovation project. That is one of the amenities that we have that has been shared. And so all of those items would be conducive for that project. Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Okay. Any other questions about our capital improvement plan updates? I guess my question is, for the majority of the ones that you presented today, is it what's the likelihood or the rating that we'll be able to complete? Like, what projects do you see as completing in fiscal year 22?
So all the projects that I presented on, we plan to complete all of them. So I wanted to give an update on where we were, and we'll provide future updates perhaps more on individual projects, but I just wanted to give council kind of an update. This is the first year where we kind of had a robust capital improvement plan, and it's also been a unique 14 months because we had some pandemic impacts. So I really just wanted to give an overview, let everyone know that we've still been working on our capital improvement plan, and we'll see the fruits of that shortly.
All but the Route 1 widening project. We will not finish that this year. I just want to put it back out there. We will not finish the Route 1 widening project.
Correct. We will not finish Route 1 widening project, but we will provide a update.
Okay. All right. Okay. I just want to make sure, because we might have some people that might write that Route 1 is going to be completed this year. I just want to make sure I put that caveat. All right. Any other questions before we move on? All right, seeing no questions. Thank you for that wonderful update and presentation on our capital improvement projects. I definitely want to commend you, our Director of Public Works, for really going out in the community. One last question about the Stormwater Pond project. Can you speak a little bit more about that? I know our stormwater ponds are especially over in where the vice mayor is in this community. Those are some of the darkest places in town. What will that project include? Anything to help mitigate some of those safety measures?
So in speaking with Prince William County and the town manager today, we have we came to the conclusion that we could possibly put lighting down. We would have to explore the cost of that. And we definitely believe that lighting would make it a lot safer and deter a lot of nefarious activity that could potentially go on down there. And it, 2, 3 lights at the most, and potentially putting one, if we're going to run lights down to the pond, we could put one on the street. And I know you and I had a conversation about that being a dark place on Tebbs Lane. And so this may help solve some of that problem. It wouldn't be the same type of lighting that is that is proposed in the cul-de-sacs and at the intersections, but it would brighten the space and make it a lot more safe. So we will continue to explore that with Dominion and Prince William County, and with a separate electrical contractor to find out what would the town would be able to pay for. So it's definitely within sight. So let me just put it that way. So the pond will have to be retrofitted first, which will happen sooner rather than later, and then the lighting would have to come after that. So
After the pond,
we'll put lighting down there, and then we rip everything apart. So it's a 2-step process.
Okay, I think that's all the questions I had. Councilman Pete, you had the same firm?
Yes, I want to piggyback on that, on the lights in the town and the darkness of the areas. There was some time ago where I've been, walking around or either biking around the town, and like there are some dark spots that are in dark areas that are in our town, and I like to say thank you that the town has taken measures to address, out of safety concern, because I am a safety first guy. But to bring some light to those dark areas, so we can possibly be a little proactive of anything that we don't want around those dark areas. I just want to say thank the town that we're looking into, lightening those dark areas that we have in the town.
All right. All right, Council, any other comments on that capital improvement before we move on? I don't know if Councilwoman Miles or Vice Mayor, did y'all have anything to add before I move on? I want to make sure I didn't skip over you, Vice Mayor.
No, thank you.
Okay. Councilwoman Miles, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't have any questions. I just want to thank Ms. Provost White for her hard work, and I definitely have taken notice to everything that you've done. I appreciate the capital improvement plan. I'm pleased with the work that has gone into it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Fields, I don't know if I gave you opportunity. Okay, you're all good. All right, good. Next on our report is our action items. All right, ordinance amending the town code concerning council salaries. Mr. Rogers, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. So the ordinance that is before the council this evening codifies the requested salary change from the town council. The budget was for fiscal year 22 was amended to reflect these changes. And so this is a necessary step to update the town code to bring this to fruition. So as an ordinance, the council will need to hold a public hearing this evening. And after that, it will be council's pleasure on moving forward.
Okay. I think one question is what departments or what services that we might lose or for this adjustment? Were there any services lost, or what department or line item might this have come from?
So I would not say services were necessarily lost. However, we made a number of small reductions within the administration agency, within the planning and community development department, and as well as a small reduction in the council's travel and training line to accommodate the increase. And as this change will be ongoing, future year budgets will have this salary level included.
Thank you. Council, any questions before we open up the public hearing about the town manager's report? Okay. Seeing, Councilwoman Neville?
Yes, Mayor, I was wondering if we could get specific numbers on how this would change the budget. I don't know if the town manager has that on him right now, but those line items that were mentioned, I would like to know how much was moved to accommodate this.
Out of the council training and
Share or
budget.
something.
Yeah. So out of the council training, out of the community development, and out of the administrative. So those three departments. Do you know those numbers off the top, Mr. Rogers?
No, sir. I do not have those numbers off the top of my head. I would also, and that will be included in once the adopted budget is posted. I would just add that this item tonight is to approve the ordinance. Those changes were already made in terms of the budgetary impact from the motion that council made on the budget.
So do I still have the floor?
Yes.
So, I mean, just to be clear for myself, that's why I was hesitant to vote in support last meeting, because I wanted to see where the money was going to be moved from. So we have essentially approved the budget without seeing that. I support, I feel as council should, when we think about our stipend, not a salary, but a stipend, and compare that to boards, those who serve on boards and commissions for the county level, as long as we can accommodate that through our revenue. But I would have liked to have seen where the money was coming from and how much from those line items. So that is something that's important to me. So I would like to see that, even if it can be pulled up at some time and sent out, just pointing out those three line items, what was taken out of each one to accommodate this increase.
Okay. Was there any other questions from council? I guess, and the other thing, if you can speak to Mr. Rogers, is why it was important to, in doing this, amend the ordinance as well as the budget. Why is this ordinance and this public hearing is important? Can you explain that?
Sure. Well, the budget was adopted with this as an amendment. So this is the approved for the budgetary as far as the budget is concerned. However, the town code specifies the specific salaries for mayor, vice mayor, as well as council members. So a code change is also required to change council salaries.
Got it. All right, I'm going to open up the public hearing to allow the public to weigh in on the code and ordinance change. If you're here in the public, let me make sure I click over. I have 2 minutes to address this. State your name for the record and your address. All right, so at this time, is there anybody from the public wanting to speak on this code or ordinance change? Raise your hand now. Okay, Ms. Lawton, the floor is yours.
I truly cannot be the only citizen here tonight. I hope that I'm not the only one this evening. Thank you so much. Oh, okay, I see head nods. All right, so I appreciate the town manager explaining the ordinance. Again, I just want to mention, like maybe I'm seeing this somewhere else, and perhaps Mr. Rogers, maybe you can help me later on, because the Muni Code site that I see that's showing it current as of January 8th, Section 2-56 doesn't mention any salaries. It just mentions the Virginia Code and that the town has the ability to do that. So I'd be interested just seeing that. Also, I kind of echo what Councilwoman Neville mentioned in that, you know, as you all know, I work in banking. If you have a reduction somewhere, you either have an increase or a change or something. So if you are changing this budget and effectively like I said, 40,000 something that I calculated being increased. How does in the town's packet where it indicates it's 65,000 something, how does that number arrive? Also, just looking at some of the changes in the proposed budget and the wonderful, I think, open data that is on the town's website. I was looking at budgets, looking at all the numbers that are zero. And it's odd, like on page 50 for admin, I guess it's the GO code 10-412-0400. There is proposed retirement of 80,000 and healthcare 300,000. Then on page 54 for planning, it's 19,000. For the police department for retirement, it's 92,000, but no healthcare listed. For public works, 26,000 for retirement. But all these numbers, there's not showing any year-to-date expenses. I'm sorry?
20 seconds.
Okay, there's no expenses showing there. So has there been expenditures for retirement, and is this going to adversely affect the employees, I guess? So I am concerned and about these numbers and think more questions should be answered. Thank you.
All right, were there any other citizens here with comments about the current ordinance change that's before you? Okay, seeing none at this time, I will close out the public hearing portion of this. Move back to any additional comments from staff or council. Okay, if there's none, look for a motion. You all
Mayor.
are, yes.
I make a motion that we approve, I make a motion that we approve the item listed before us for increasing council budget, council salaries, council stipend, however you want to call it, and change the ordinance.
Ordinance to amend section 2-56 of town council concerning the compensation of town council members. Is that the
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That is my motion.
All right. All right.
Second.
Okay. Who? I'm sorry. I wasn't looking. Who was the second?
Vice Mayor, second.
Vice Mayor. Sorry. All right. All right. Any further discussion? Okay. Councilwoman DeVille.
Not a lot of discussion per se, but I would feel more comfortable because I support this, but I would really like to see the impact on the budget before I can vote in support. That's all. So it's just a comment, so, with how my vote will go, because I would feel more comfortable seeing the fiscal impact on the budget before voting in support, although I do theoretically support. I just want to see those numbers, and it looks like I may not get to see that tonight. So I just wanted to make that statement. Thank you, Mayor.
No problem. All right. Were there any other comments on the motion on the floor? Okay. Seeing none, the motion on the floor is an ordinance to amend section 2-56 of the town council concerning compensation of town council members. And the motion made by Councilman Fields and second by the Vice Mayor. I will now call for the question. All right, Councilwoman Miles.
Aye.
Councilman Fields.
Aye.
Councilman Pete. You're on mute.
I couldn't hear that.
Yeah, what was your vote, sir?
Yes.
Okay, Councilwoman DeVille.
I unfortunately going to have to abstain.
Okay, Vice Mayor.
Yes.
All right, that's a yes for me. Did I miss the Councilman Fields? Did I get you?
No, yes.
Yes, okay. Ms. Hill, keep me straight. What's our count on the vote?
5 in the affirmative, 1 abstaining.
Okay.
Motion carried.
All right, motion carries. All right. That concludes our session for today. Our next meeting will be on June the 15th, and we look forward to seeing everyone there. Councilman Fields, you have a save round?
Yes, I tried to get this in last meeting. I don't think we gave a proper welcome to Ms. Hill.
Oh, okay.
And I think she's past due now of a proper welcome. I will be the first to say welcome, Ms. Hill. And we're glad to have you aboard our town staff, and looking forward to working with you in the future.
That is a great point, Councilman Fields. Glad you brought that in. Ms. Hill, would you like to say anything to all the people watching? I know this is just second meeting here now, but give you to speak to our wonderful citizenry as we adjourn. You get the last remarks before we hit the gavel and adjourn.
Thank you, Mayor. To the mayor, to the council, also to Town Manager Rogers, and the citizens. I am so grateful to be a part of the town of Dumfries, and to be a part of Team Dumfries. So thank you so much. Looking forward to bringing myself, my dog, and my 16-year-old son, who will be graduating his senior year of high school, there with you guys. So we're looking forward to it. See you soon.
Welcome to Dumfries. At this time, this meeting